minutes of the regular meeting of April 12th, 2020. Presented.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Questions, information arising out of the minutes? None? No petition. Staff report, fire report?
I'll say the motion so then they can
Yes.
speak. I have a motion moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the fire chief's report as presented. And then there's a second motion after he's spoken. For a minute.
Good to go.
Yep, good to go.
So we have two things to talk about tonight as far as council reports. Just Brian, where you go? There he is. Besides Jim wasn't known as Brian Mackey, he's the Office of the Fire Marshal. He's our area fire advisor for. So he's our boss.
Whoa.
So first, just the usual fire questions about that. So I'll just go over the other council report that you received regarding fire services in this township. And I'll just review what we have here as far as the background goes. I'm sure that everybody knows where Dennis Township is. It's we share an entire north border with their south border, and they do not have fire protection. We actually have to go through Dennis Township to get to some of our area. We have to go up Mackin Road, cross Red Rock Road, back down and through the windmills to get to Prince Township. They don't have a local services board. They don't have fire protection. It creates a concern for us. So first of all, the concern is for me as chief is that if there's a fire out there, I know what's going to happen. I've actually confirmed this with CAC. Since they don't have a fire department, if there's a house on fire and spread into another house, they're going to start calling the fire departments in the area. So I would fully expect that I would get a fire or a phone call during the morning and say, there's a house on fire in Dennis Township, we go. And I have to be prepared to say no because it's actually legal for any fire response because of the way our bylaws are written. And we've never done anything further with it because it's not our township. People that live out there, they don't have fire service, and that's the way it goes. So, so what happens is if there is fire there, Lakeshore Drive is our main drive for most people live. The maps that I've seen, that actually extends down into Prince Township. I don't think there's any residences on there, but there's actually residences that are quite literally within meters of Prince Township. So if something happens now, let's take the last couple of days, for example, if you've been following news, we've had a lot of wildfires. We've managed to stay away from it so far, but I think Awares has been out a couple times. Willie's got one on the go. They had a big one over Garden River First Nation, and Echo Bay was there. So wind driven the way it has been the last couple of days, especially when we have a predominant northwest winds, anything that happens right at the border is going to spread in fires pretty quick. And then I've made a note in there about climate change and what's happening. It's a big thing in the fire service right now because our wildfires are bigger and meaner. So the province, I'm not sure what the catalyst was for this, but on March 19th, the provincial government announced that they have a new program that would reimburse municipalities, which would be us, to respond into unincorporated areas, which would be them. Without getting into the whole thing, it would basically be the same thing as when we respond to a fire or a crash on Highway 550 Airport Road. Different way to do it through a different arm of the government, but we would basically bill them for the amount of hours that we would attend there. And what they cover is structure fire and carbon monoxide calls, search and rescue, operations and emergency medical care, motor vehicle collisions, and hazardous materials requests, all of which we take care of. So basically what would happen is if we respond out there, we would send a bill to the provincial government, same way that we do through the MTO. And right now, you know what the going rate is? It's 510?
Something like that.
I think it's $510 an hour per truck that they would reimburse us. So we get a medical call out there, we go out there and send them the bill. So considering all that, I believe that Peggy has a resolution to read, but if anybody has any questions or comments?
Council Caputo, do you have any comment on this?
I'm just, I just need more to learn about the border. Like you're saying 3 meters, like 9 feet away.
No,
And
I said-
one house is here and where.
So when I say structures, I also mean windmills.
Cool.
So yes, we do have windmills that are mere meters from our board. So when the Prince Wind Farm project is basically the top third is Dennis Township, the bottom 2/3 is us. And
Just learn something.
yeah, so we have a line there. We go up there and we do pre-plants up in the windmills, because if one of those things goes up, there's one windmill that's within a kilometer of Prince Lake. So if it goes up and we have a big electrical fire up there, we have to get up there quick and get ahead of it before it gets down into Prince Lake. So it's the same thing with this. So yeah, we do have windmills that are right on board. And there's people that have camps up there as well.
I've driven up there lots. I'll make sure I'm down flood the water.
Yeah, but actually within the wind farm project, there's leased land, but people have camps on that. They're allowed in there. So they have a gate pass as well.
Thank you.
Council Chambers, any question, comments?
My comment is, yeah, we have to go in through their property to service some of our townships, so. And we're gonna get compensated for it, this compensation package, it's already set up, and so I don't see any.
Yeah, the package is called the Fire Protection Service and Unincorporated Interior Repayment via Transfer Payment, CPON.
I have a big concern because if our fire department's up there, our township is at risk because it's not a mutual aid in where the city would come in and take care of us. And if they did come, if they weren't busy themselves, so somebody in the residence could have a fire, or our trucks are up at Red Rock and it takes, what, 45 minutes to get up there?
No, 20.
Well, you're going pretty fast with 20.
No, actually, we're not, because we do go up there, as I said.
Okay.
So,
I'm not gonna argue, but it's putting our township at risk and the city will go up there.
So two things on that. First of all, it's mutual aid, because we will be covering that. So if we need to.
My letter from. You're up there, they will respond to our fire, it's mutual aid.
We already have that, it's called.
We have. But that's if we're from Prince Township, we're not in Prince Township, now we're Red Rock, which has nothing to do with Prince Township. And years ago, they said the city would not come out here and cover us under mutual aid because we left the township.
So back to what I said about the trucks, one truck would be staying here. It would be an extraordinary incident where we would send 2 trucks.
But would we have enough firefighters?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we were putting the township at risk by going to Red Rock.
No,
That's my opinion.
I disagree, but.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah, because I can't put Prince Township even at 1 inch or anything at risk.
Well, so I'm not, I'm also trying to prevent the risk of the fire coming into Prince Township.
With the ministry to fight the forest fire.
So we have an agreement with the ministry to cover Dennis Township.
No,
And as we've discussed.
we have
before,
our own township.
And you're right. And as we have discussed before, they're coming from either Chapel or Ranger Lake, so there will be no immediate response.
You're still putting the township at risk by going up.
Again, I don't agree with you, but
It just, like, a wildfire is not covered. But if it comes onto our dwellings that are in Prince, then we respond. But I know, and
There's no buildings from Prince Township close to Red Brook.
The windmills are there. They're not.
Windmill,
windmills.
but we have access.
But they're ours.
There are
I think
windmills,
that's
but
what
we're
Steve-
trying to get access to Marshall Drive.
why is Dennis Township not,
Well, because it's an unorganized township and they could set up a fire department there or fire.
So no, they can't,
no.
Why can't
they
they?
don't.
because they're unorganized, they have to have a local service board, and they don't have that.
Well, they could have they could have their own service board.
They
Moody
try.
does, Hayden does, Surspont does.
Much bigger communities, and they've tried and unsuccessfully to get a local service board up there, so they cannot just.
Well, they don't want to pay. You gotta pay for a service board.
Well, again, they can't form a fire department without a local services board.
Yeah.
in this town.
But they can get their own service
We're
board.
talking in circles.
I know, but that's my opinion. I don't want to put the township at risk.
Neither do I, and I don't intend to.
Well, you have a resolution, I guess.
We have the first resolution that accepts it. Did they already accept the report? When you got?
Oh. Have a resolution to accept just the report. All in favor?
All right.
Carried.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the fire chief's request regarding emergency calls to Dennis Township, and further that this council agrees to grant authority to the Prince Township Fire Service to respond to emergency incidents in Dennis Township when available.
All in favor?
Enzo has his hand up too.
May I make a comment before I raise my hand, which I will? And first of all, thank you, finally meeting you, Steve.
Yeah, good meeting as well.
This, I would really have liked to have been able to sit down and did more discussions on, but as the rookie again, I will support my fellow councilors and agree with it. And I think that everybody should be taken care of, be it Dennis or not. And if we have the availability to go and save someone, could be your family, your cousin, your sister, your child. I'll support it.
Okay, you're for it?
Yes.
And Enzo's for it?
Yes, he put his hand up.
Okay. Carried, and of course, I'm against it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Well, that's it. Anything else for us? You got one more?
No more resolutions.
No, okay.
That's all.
Oh,
Thanks,
Have a good
Steve.
night. Yeah, just
Like the road.
Yeah. Well, named after.
Free Coke.
They're gonna be-
Only the old people know that line.
Well, before you got a resolution, please.
I have two resolutions for roads.
Thank you for coming.
Let's just get it in settled. I have a motion moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved, this council hereby accepts the roads report as information.
Questions on it? All in favor? Carried.
I have a second motion moved by Councillor Caputo, and second by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved, that this council hereby agrees to the recommendation of the road superintendent for the use of the Nords grant money on Walls Road as per his report. We already, through the application, applied for Walls Road, but his recommendation of what he wants to get done this year.
Yeah, we get so much money now for 5 years, so we have to spend it or we have to pay interest on it. So, you heard, any questions on this? All in favor? Carried. Okay,
I have a third motion moved by Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby agrees to allow the installation of a culvert at 47 Hill Road as requested.
questions? All in favor? Carried. Let's see. CEO clerk's treasury report, revenue and expenditures.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the March, oh, sorry, it should be April. the April revenue report in the amount of $114,012.18, and the April expenditure report in the amount of $179,751.90 as presented.
Questions? All in favor? Carried. FCM membership.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council agrees to continue membership in the Federation of Canadian Municipalities in the amount of $470.24.
And if you're wondering why we get this, because we, over the years, we have got more money back from this organization than it cost us. So you heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thanks.
Can I ask a quick question before we get?
Yes, go ahead.
too far about the
You're not supposed to, but
The culvert at 47 Hill Road. They, so can I, because it's called a driveway, can I reword, because I gotta get some people involved, can I reword that to entranceway or walkway? Rather than driveway? Should I just reword it?
We don't really have a.
we don't have it. We just have
bylaw
culvert.
or anything for that
Okay,
purpose, so.
so you're aware there's no culvert needed, which is fine, but you're approving the second entranceway. Okay,
Yes.
we're good.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah,
Mr. St. John,
Yes,
that's you?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so we're just approving.
okay,
And it'll be up to road superintendent to discuss it with you.
perfect, thank you.
Yeah, he's already been and seen it.
Yeah, they did a site meeting on that.
Request for the use of the hall for NA narcotic analyst, and our AA meeting, nonprofit.
So I have a motion moved by Councillor Caputo, or sorry, Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Whereas Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous would be offering a service to the residents of the community, now therefore be it resolved, this council agrees to allow NA and AA groups to meet in the municipal hall at no cost.
Any questions on that? All in favor? Carried.
And I just want to apologize to Councillor Plummo. I had the two councillors that were here sign the resolutions in advance, so I apologize that your name isn't on there, but we know you're here.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Ice cream truck or hot dog truck at Marina or turnaround.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be resolved, this council agrees to allow a vendor truck in the municipality, provided that permission is granted from property owners where the truck is to be located, i.e. MTO or the Conservation Authority or any other place that it may be located. And further, that proof of such permission and insurance coverage and any required licensing is provided to the municipality. And further, that proof that Algoma public health regulations are followed. And further, that any garbage from the operation is cleaned up daily at minimum.
Any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
May I ask, who is asking permission for the ice cream truck or hot dog stand?
This is Mr. Chris McGrath.
Okay, if I recall correctly, this goes back into last year. The Airways General Store had asked, or had expressed an interest in terms of setting up some type of a venue there. I don't know, I think considering the fact she's part of Prince Township or business is operating in Prince Township, we may want to touch base with her first.
She decided not to do it. Council never turned her down about using it. But we didn't have the marina when she was talking about it, but.
If I might,
Go ahead.
there was someone who wanted to put a vendor, fruit stand or something in the parking lot here, and they turned that down because they didn't
Remember
want
that,
something
yep.
here. And that's the only one I don't remember the other one.
No, I think
But
it's a great
yeah,
idea
yeah.
to have a venue there.
You don't think it's a good idea? Or
No,
you
I
think
do. It is a good idea.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, through you to Enzo Palumbo, I think it's a great idea as well. I would like to reach out again to Rhonda, now that might be available, to see if this year she's interested. And I agree with Mr. Palumbo and his Prince Township resident and business to be supported.
Yeah, I also heard somebody in Prince Township might have bought an ice cream vehicle to wants to park at the marina. So if he does, then he would have to come, or she would have to come also.
With following the
Following the
excellent rules that are written on that. I think they're pretty precise and adequate,
Yeah.
as long as they're all adhered to.
Well, I didn't mention a name in the resolution, so if, for example, this person couldn't come up with all of the things that they need to do it, there might be somebody else that can, and it doesn't have a name on it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Planning.
Okay, the next items are Councilor Palumbo, so he's declared the conflict on the items, but because it's his property, he's able to answer questions for council or any. On this, I have a motion moved by Councilor Chambers and seconded by Councilor Caputo. Whereas the granting of the consent will not significantly impact the character of the land or the aspect of the zoning bylaw 2015-19 and will not be detrimental to the residential environment and aesthetics of the area. Now therefore be it resolved that this council hereby approves minor variance application number M2 2022, allowing a reduced size of a proposed retained lot from 8.0 hectares to 1.97 hectares, or acres rather, to 0.72 hectares or 1.79 acres. Further be it resolved that this approval does not exempt the property owner from attaining all necessary permits and maintaining conformity with the provincial policy 1.1.4.1. And that's the minor variance.
Mr. Plum, would you like to talk about this?
No, it's all very straightforward.
Does anybody have any questions?
Is there anybody in the audience?
No.
No, I didn't.
I forgot to file with me. I had something from Conservation Authority on both of them that just said that it's not in their area of jurisdiction and they're not concerned. It was in your addendum package. And it was recommended by the planner that this meets the conformity and it is a minor variance, and that the severance, which is the next resolution, is okay with the conditions that are on the decision.
Okay, you heard the resolution, all in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that this council accepts the report regarding the minor variance application M2 2022 and the consent to sever application C1 2022. And further be it resolved that provincial consent is authorized for the provisional consent is authorized for the severance of 0.720 hectares, 1.79 acres on the parcel of land described as Plan M 393 Lot 1 Parcel 9528 AWS 54 Mountain View Drive, Prince Township, Ontario, P6A6K4, and further that this severance is subject to the conditions outlined in the decision.
Anybody got any questions? All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
That's it for this. Yeah.
That's that for planning.
Okay, bylaws, tax
Yeah.
rates. Tax rates.
Be it resolved, this council adopts the bylaw 2022-08, being a bylaw to set the tax ratios for 2022. They're unchanged from last year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Motion moved by Councillor Caputo, second by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby adopts bylaw 2022-09, being a bylaw to set the tax levy and budget for 2022, total to be raised in the amount of $1,601,948 within the municipal tax rate of 0.0100067 for residential purposes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
The motion moved by Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby adopts bylaw 2022-10, being a bylaw to appoint members of committees, boards, and agencies, and to appoint a deputy mayor for 2022. There was a slight
I have a
change from the
question.
original one that you had because there was a couple of people that had to be added to the recreation, a couple of people that wanted to come off the recreation, so it's been adjusted.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Mayor, through you to Ms. Greco, on H, bylaw 202209, Councillor Caputo on the library board is not correct.
Okay,
And Prince Township Fire Department liaison is not Mr. Palumbo, it's Mr. Caputo. And
okay.
Councillor Palumbo, you're on which one now?
I did change, I thought it was a contradiction.
Okay, no, just wanted to make sure, it was just a minor
Okay,
misunderstanding.
so let me get it straight. So who is on the library board then?
Matthews, Councilor Matthews.
Okay,
And so
library.
on this one,
And you're the fire liaison now?
Yeah.
And what other one is wrong?
parent resource, the library is now.
Your parent-child resources use, is
Mr.
that correct
Matthews.
though?
Yep,
Is that, it is correct? Parent-child resource is correct? Or needs to be changed?
Parent-child resources is me now.
and so,
Okay, are those the only three that are changed then?
correct. That I can see, and like added on to some rec committee, Mr. Mayor? you
Yes.
said?
There's members that
What's that?
joined up.
Who?
Oh, there's members that joined up. Some of these people on here, they help out at functions, but they also work on the range too. But
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for that.
No.
That's just volunteers.
Yeah.
Okay. But those are the only three changes though?
And Ms.
That I
Greco,
can see,
you've already made the addendum for Counselor Matthews as chair for Conservation Authority, a board member.
Right. Yes. I did do that one, yes. Okay, do you want to just put amended? So I'll be amending, just for clarity, I'll be amending the library one to Councillor Matthews, the fire liaison to Councillor Caputo, and the parent-child to Councillor Palumbo. I wasn't aware of those other changes.
that's what has amended.
Mhm, yeah.
Okay, you heard the resolution, all in favor? Carried.
Mrs. Christensen had her hand up for quite a while.
oh, I'm sorry.
Enough to acknowledge
Wow.
her.
Can I have permission to speak about two more changes?
Okay,
Vicki Taylor, I just came from library board, is not on that board anymore. She's given resignation. And Mike Landmark is not on Heritage Committee Museum board anymore. He's taken the lead.
The second one, I'm sorry?
Mike Landmark.
So just to make sure I heard you properly, so remove Vicki Taylor from the library and remove Mike Landmark from the museum?
That's correct.
thank you.
Sorry. Michael's full, like right off, or is he just taking a leave?
He's just taken the lead as far as I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
hopefully you can let us know, we'll re-add it.
That's what I'm hoping.
Thank you.
Val 911 agreement.
So this is basically just a replacement of the 911 agreement that we've had in place for many, many years. So I've got a motion moved by Councillor Caputo and seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby adopts bylaw 2022-11, being a bylaw to authorizing the mayor and clerk to sign a service agreement between Bell and the Corporation of the Township of Prince for the provision of next generation 911 services. It's basically to allow more electronic text messaging to 911, et cetera.
Heard the resolution, all in favor? Carried. Notice the motion, recreation committee request to split, added fridge costs, yes.
So I have a motion moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby approves the sharing of the extra cost of the fridge with the Recreation Committee in the amount of $424.31.
Okay, what happened here was the township bought one fridge, recreation bought one fridge. Well, one of the fridges, according to where we bought the fridges, they can't get any more. They're not making it. It's been 2 years. So they have one in stock, and I have to have a rec meeting to get approval back. I reached out, I think they'll approve their share. and want council to pay their half, which is $424 each. So you heard the resolution, all in favor?
May I speak?
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'll be in favor of it if the recreation committee accepts half of the bill.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the way it is.
Okay, thanks. Just wanted to make that known.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
I didn't do a motion for the next one. Totally forgot about it. Actually, I have a blank one. Did you have a blank resolution over there that didn't get signed? No? I thought I had a
No
blank one. I got that.
respect.
Okay. The T-ball information, it's in your packages.
Variance waiver?
Yeah, there's a. Let me just check it out. Package here. The mayor had asked me to check prices because they're sponsoring the T-ball league, or planning to sponsor the T-ball league.
Recreation is.
Recreation committee is?
And there's going to be, we have to check out insurances because it's not just sponsoring a team, it's sponsoring the whole league, right? We talked about it at the.
There's more than
last meeting.
45 kids.
So, let me just get to my,
Oh, we'll do that for, now, add a little few things.
so in your addendum packages, there was a thing about all the coverages and the total amount for the coverage would be $730. I don't know whether or not you're planning, if there's any fees going to be charged to the people that are participating, or if it's free, but that's the cost to the township. So if you're offsetting it somehow, or.
Well,
willing to go
I think I talked to them, they're looking at a sponsor to help pay for the off costs.
Okay,
But there is no charge for the kids. It's for all the kids around this area. It's T-ball for the little ones. And they're making the field right now at no cost to the township or nothing. And there's no cost to the kids. They got sponsors for all the T-shirts, the hats. And so if they can't come up with the cost, there's no resolution, so we don't have a resolution, but
well, I can do up one right now.
if they can't come up with a cost, I kind of like to see if the township will cover it. We had a league, we used to have a long time ago, had a ball league for the kids. Your kids probably played on it, or your Prince Lake didn't come in. Oh, yeah.
So, Mr. Mayor, just a quick question. So we have 245 kids that play T-ball at the Airways baseball that live in Prince?
We live in surrounding area, Prince and surrounding area.
So Sault Ste. Marie and Prince.
Right. But we have,
Can I just get the age groups to see who were?
T-ball would be, anybody got any suggestions for T-ball?
I know they're younger, I don't know.
They're
Oh, my boy played from T-ball right to.
6
6 and under. So you got kids 6 and under playing T-ball.
So that's 245 kids at 12 a team, right? Just curious.
They might have to play a couple of nights.
I heard it's just Tuesday nights. I was talking to Mr. Adam Lyons. So it's 15 teams, if they have 15 players on each team. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's giving the kids in there are something to do.
Yep, no, I'm totally 999,000% in favor of it. You mentioned that someone might offset the cost if we will go half with someone.
Well,
I don't want something like
I know, but yeah, they're looking at it right now.
and that's starting in the next, the long weekend of May, right? So that's,
Right after the long weekend in May. So We can pass it. Go ahead, Councilor
Yeah.
Chambers.
My thought is if we can find it into the budget to pass it for this year and come up with an agreement for next year, so it would be offset that way and see how it goes this year. And just move it forward.
I mean, I can leave the motion for this thing. Be it resolved, this council agrees to sponsor the T-ball league to be held at Avery Field for this year, and then that way the cost, I mean.
And this way here, if they can come up with a cost, then,
There's also going to be a waiver, for by the way, that you'll have to make sure that everybody has
Yeah.
it signed.
you just make one up and we'll give it to them and they can,
I can just write it in here.
Mover?
Second,
So
mover.
just another quick question there, Mr. Mayor. What, like we have the pickleball court, and all this, like this is all in our budget that I'm just looking at the money.
Pickleball's done.
pickleballs, we paid a few years ago, 10,000 for it.
It's already taken care of. There's no annual cost to us.
No.
Except for
No, I'm
that.
keeping that in the,
I already mentioned that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What you say?
So except for a new net.
Except for a new net. The old one disappeared. I don't know where.
Okay, I'm in favor. Yes, hi,
Hi,
sorry.
why do we need to have a waiver form if it's not on municipal property?
We're sponsoring it. Recreation sponsoring it.
Yeah, but like, who put this league together? I know, I was in the gist of the whole thing. I'm sorry to be like, I don't wanna sound like a bad guy, but like,
Should came to the last recreation meeting. He was on.
this is, I'm not on the recreation committee. This is, I've been in baseball for 42 years. Played it, signed my waivers, had my 19-year-old boy play for 15 of his 19 years and signed the waiver for my son as well. And God forbid and thank you for not hurting him and injuring him. But I I want to make sure that we get this right, Mr. Mayor.
We're gonna be right. That's why it came to the insurance. We have to get waivers. We'll get all the waivers signed.
The waiver agreement that I have, that was in
I
the
see
package.
the
came-
amateur waiver.
came
I
from the,
read it twice now. I just,
It was supplied by the insurance company directly. I don't have my backup printed, but I think I have one here.
Okay. You still reading for the group?
I just, is it in our budget? That's all I want to know. And,
We'll do, if we have to, we'll find this.
My question.
and we have some of the audience. Mr.
No,
Mayor.
the audience is not supposed to talk. It's in our bylaw.
Yeah.
Yes. Council Caputo, or Plumbo?
Yeah.
Did you say it?
No, I agreed with what you just indicated.
Okay, so
So I have a motion moved by Councillor Palumbo and seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that this council agrees to sponsor the T-ball league to be held at Avery Field.
and I'll ask about, yeah, so you heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, correspondence.
Okay, I have a motion moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the draft Lake Superior LAMP, and further council encourages members of both council and the public to send any questions or comments directly to the Lake Superior Partnership prior to June 5th, 2022.
Questions on this? Go ahead.
I'm gonna start, Mr. Mayor. I'm reading this for the third time, and it's in Prince Township, but it's on the Airways property, which is now gonna be called the Airways Baseball Field, because he's graciously donating it and doing all the work and everything, getting it ready for the long weekend. But how are we liable on his land? That's his property. Wouldn't he be the one that pays the insurance and the liability for the waiver? I'm just asking.
Because recreation,
Sault Ste. Marie, just let me finish my point. Sault Ste. Marie, when my son played, I signed the waivers that he played in the baseball league. Their field, their liability, their insurance, they paid. I didn't pay. That's all I'm just saying. I just want to put that in the minutes that I voted to accept because I love watching kids have fun, but I think the date should be paid, not the township. Unless it's a town, that's all I gotta say.
Okay, did you hear this resolution now? Moved by. Is that Palumbo?
Mhm.
Moved by Palumbo,
Oh,
second
no,
by,
that one isn't, sorry.
No.
That was the one before.
oh, Caputo?
That's, yeah.
What are they, signature? Moved by Caputo, second by Chambers, be resolved that this council thereby accept a draft Lake Superior lamp and further council encourage members to both council and the public to send any questions or comments directly to the Lake Superior Partnership prior to June the 5th. It was any questions on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
I don't have a mover or seconder for the next item, so it's mute. I don't have a seconder for the next one, so it's mute. I've done a seconder for that one. I don't have anybody on that one. Okay, I have a motion moved by Councillor Chambers, second by Councillor Caputo. Whereas the country of Ukraine has experienced a premeditated and unprovoked invasion by Russia, and whereas silence is complicity, and whereas Canada imports hundreds of millions of dollars worth of goods from Russia each year, and whereas negative financial impacts upon a country can be used as means to deter further conflict, now therefore be it resolved that the correspondence from the town of Gravenhurst and the city of Thorold regarding sanctions on Russia being received for information, that the Township of Prince unequivocally denounces Russia's unjustifiable war against the Ukraine, that the Township of Prince supports the sanctions which the federal government of Canada has thus far imposed on Russia, effective immediately and until a time when the sovereignty of the Ukraine is once again unchallenged, the Township of Prince will not purchase any products, i.e. plywood, fertilizer, steel, furniture, or machinery which can be easily traced to have originated from Russia, and insist that any further contracts or for services for the Township of Prince abide by the same limitations within our municipality. That upon confirmation that the Belarusian military is engaged with Ukraine, that the Township of Prince apply these limitations upon goods from that country as well, and that all other municipalities of Ontario are made aware of the Township of Prince's support of these sanctions.
Heard the resolution, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be resolved that this council proceeds into closed session at 7:31 p.m. to consider the following subject matter in accordance with the Municipal Act. Pursuant to Section 239(2)B to deal with a personal matter about an identifiable individual, including municipal employees. Section 239(2)D, labor relations or employee negotiations. Section 239(2)F, for council to get advice from municipal legal counsel, which will be subject to solicitor-client privilege, and Section 239(2)1, a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board. All having to do with the hiring process, the closed minutes of April 12, 2022. Further be it resolved that should the closed session be adjourned, council may reconvene in closed session to continue to discuss the same matters without the need for a further authorizing resolution.
Heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Canadian?
I'm taking you.
Well, they would say that way.
Are you taking it's on, it's on the agenda. Sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
It's on the agenda for tonight. You're requesting insurance information. but now we're.
Well,
The reason we have to sell it, the area bar is right there. We have to